Welcome to Hot Corner, guys. We're Giant Sports Talk Live and NorCal Sports Network come together for one day a week where we talk some Giants baseball. There's only one of the four, which is me. Dallas coming in. He's coming out of the bullpen to take it over for NorCal. But yeah, it's going to be fun tonight. Dallas, look at this. Giants win another series, 3 series in a row, right? You beat Milwaukee in Milwaukee. You sweep the Cubs, and now you take the series from the Baltimore Orioles. Man, what'd you think?
Well, another one of these games where the offense showed up. You know, they put 13 runs on the board, and it's just a complete opposite team than what we saw. You know, other than these last 7 games or whatever. Before that, it was they couldn't score runs. So now they're scoring more runs than you need. You know, it's like, can we save some of these? It's crazy. And then also, like with Verlander, like the win wasn't in question. It was just a matter of, can he pitch 5 innings?
Right.
And so he was at 120 pitches and, you know, basically going all out just to get through 5 in order to get that W. And they let him do it. But yeah, it was a great game. I mean, they've been playing really great baseball. They ran into a buzzsaw yesterday with Rogers. But other than that, they've been pretty much unstoppable.
And you know what I like about what they did? A couple of things here, Dallas. The Giants didn't let that affect them. They got blown out in their home park, man. 11 runs, right? 11 runs against them. No runs for the Giants. And then you come right back and you freaking get right back at it, man. And look, I tell you what, Justin Verlander, he left it all on the field. It wasn't efficient, but the guy went out there. He went 5 innings through 121 pitches, and he got 10 strikeouts. He averaged 2 strikeouts an inning in this outing. Again, it wasn't easy. Yeah. He didn't allow any runs, but he got it done, man. And you know what? I applaud the guy. The guy went out there and he freaking pitched his ass off, and the team backed him up. Take advantage of errors, and you got other guys out there, Ramos and Devers and Gilbert, each of them with 3 hits. I mean, man, dude, they're just playing really good right now. All facets of the game. The pitching is a little bit weird in some of the rotation spots here, but for the most part, man, the pitching, the defense, and the hitting, it's all coming around here, approaching the last month of baseball. We're approaching September 1st. I haven't seen anything yet about roster moves yet. Maybe that gets announced tomorrow. And it's an early tomorrow, by the way, because it's Labor Day. So should be interesting to see who the Giants are going to call out. Remember, tomorrow, September 1st, roster expands by 2. Real quick, before we get into more, who do you think the 2 guys may be? Any predictions or what you think?
Well, I heard you guys talking about this on Marty's show. Mm-hmm. But you know, I think probably a pitcher. You know, they're going to need another starter, and they could probably do the whole whack-a-mole thing where they have Ting pitch tomorrow and then send him down and bring somebody else up. But I think, you know, with Verlander only going 5, you know, and that he could barely do that, and with only having 2 real starters in your rotation other than Verlander, you know, you've got 2 holes in the rotation. You're going to need pitching. You're going to need guys that can come up and eat up some innings. So I assume there's going to be a pitcher, maybe a Mason Black, or maybe one of those Trevor McDonald, somebody who's on the 40 man that they could bring up, and then probably it'll be, you know, you'd like to see Luciano, you'd like to see Eldridge, you'd like to see one of these big bats, but it's going to be something kind of unsexy like Tyler Fitzgerald. Mm-hmm. And he can come in, give them some speed off the bench, and you know, you might, you know, be able to see a little bit more pinch running. You know, you might see Koss and Fitzgerald coming in for speed at various points of the game. So like if Devers gets on base, you could always pinch run Fitzgerald and then bring Dom Smith in to play first, or, you know, however they want to work it. Having those 2 extra spots gives them a little more flexibility. So
it does.
I don't expect we're going to see any like big names or guys that hit the ball out of the ballpark, but you know, you never know.
Yeah, that's a good point. And you know, I wouldn't be surprised, Dallas, if they decide to go bring up 2 pitchers for the simple fact that they're going to be in Colorado. Once they leave Colorado, maybe then they can send one of those pitchers back and bring up a bat. That's my thought. Just for the simple fact, you got freaking now. Well, maybe not, because guess who's going on Tuesday and Wednesday? It's going to be Webb and Ray, and those guys normally. Well, the Ray has been a little bit weird, but normally they'll take you 6, maybe 7 innings. But it is Colorado, so there's a possibility maybe they just bring up 2. Maybe we see the reemergence of Birdsong. You're talking about McDonald. He may be a guy. And again, you don't have to make any moves on your 40-man in making those moves, which is
if they wanted to make a move on the 40-man, it's kind of typical for teams to bring up a third catcher. And,
I know where you're going. That guy.
The guy they traded for, his name is Rodriguez, right?
Yeah, the guy's got a – and look, I see a lot of guys talking about Luciano, 500-foot home run. Well, the guy's batting .229. He's got an .810 OPS. Well, guess what? Jesus Rodriguez is batting .312 and has an .806 OPS. Now, that being said, does his bat play? We don't know. He hasn't had his experience in the MLB yet. Luciano has. So I don't know what they would do as far as that's concerned. But Dallas, I think that's where you're going, right? Jesus?
Yeah. Yep.
The guy's taking care of. Now I don't know how he's doing behind the plate as far as his catching ability, but maybe you just have him as a bench player.
Yeah. And it does give you more flexibility. So they feel like you can pinch hit for Kisner earlier in the game, that you don't have to worry as much about not having a catcher, because if generally your starting catcher, you're not going to take him out of the game, because then if you bring in your second catcher, you don't have another catcher in case he gets hurt or whatever, or takes one off the face mask or whatever can happen.
Right.
So, I'm looking at the roster here, and you mentioned when you were at the game that Gerard Encarnacion was in the dugout.
He was.
And I wonder if he's getting close to where he could come back. I'm not sure. I haven't heard his name mentioned at all, but someone said that he threw a ball at Glenn or something, and
Glenn caught it.
Put some heat on it. So
he put a little charge in it, and Glenn one-handed it. That was pretty cool. That was pretty damn cool, man. I tell you what, that was a lot of fun. I know we talked about it a lot, but that was a lot of fun. That was good times there last Tuesday. But let's go back a little bit. Again, now that's the 2 position play or 2 spots that open up. So we'll just have to keep an eye on Twitter. Maybe they announce something tonight. Maybe it's not till tomorrow. We'll see. Mets lose, Dallas. The Giants win. We're talking, I know it's 5 games, but it's really 6 because of the tiebreaker.
Right.
But still, crazier things have happened in baseball. And
if you say those words a few more times, Mets lose, Giants win. If you say that 3 more times, then it gets interesting.
It does. And I see Mark. No, Mark. There's Mark in there. I see Armand. Armand, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry about your man. Hey, look, I know that you're a diehard Mets fan. I get it. Same thing with Mark. Dedicated guys in our chat. But, man, we're trying here, man, as Giants fans, man. We're trying. And, oh, my God. There's some great tweets out there about the Mets break. I'll play it a little bit later. It's pretty damn funny. But I saw an interesting stat that Shayna Rubin covers the Giants for the Chronicle. Look at this. Take a look at this. Rafael Devers in August has 9 home runs, a 989 OPS. He and Willy Adames are the first pair of Giants with at least 9 home runs in a single month since Jeff Kent and Barry Bonds in 2002.
Wow.
How about them apples? Come on.
I wonder
Come on, man.
I wonder how many Kent hit of those 9.
Yeah, I know, right? Maybe 1. But come on, guys. This is why we wanted Rafi Devers. This is why I have not poo-pooed on the acquisition of getting Rafi Devers. This is a guy, man. He's a guy. As Buster Posey said in his press conference, he's a dude. So come on, let's go, man. Yes, there was an adjustment period. And now he's starting to feel it. He's starting to feel this is who we can expect in the San Francisco's lineup for the foreseeable future, man. This is good. This is good things, Dallas. You got Adames playing out of his mind. Now you got Devers who's starting to play out of his mind. You got Matos who's showing something. Young Drew Gilbert today, man, he's been doing something. I mean, it's just great to see the Giants doing something. Albeit, I wish it was a little bit about 2 weeks earlier, right?
Right.
But hey, they're doing it. It's
unfortunate they had to wait until they were basically out of it in order to start this. But I hope, all those guys, now that they know, oh, okay, this is possible here in San Francisco. I can perform at this level. And then maybe, they're all streaky players. So there will be slumps for Devers. There will be slumps for Adames,
absolutely,
for all of them. But, hopefully it's not the at the point where you're getting 3-4 guys all slumping at the same time. You want to be able to have, one guy can have a bad month or whatever. That's fine. Other guys can step up and fill the void. And then you're going to have some months where everyone's firing on all cylinders like they are right now. And then it's wonderful. So it's good. It bodes well for going into next season if they can kind of hit the ground running and really show some production.
And that's, I mean, what they're doing right now isn't just about 2025. It's also about 2026. That's a great point, Dallas. Because look, here's a couple of things. First off, they're just not laying down and saying, you know what, the hell with it, the season's a wash. No, they're still out there. I mean, right? They're 6 back and with 25 to go. It could happen. It's gonna take some work, right? As long as they're doing their part, I'm okay with that, right? You can't
control what the Mets do.
Yes.
You can't. We don't play them again, so that's just gonna, whatever happens. All you can control is going out there each day and putting out a solid effort and getting a W. You do that each day, and then maybe in a week or two, things are looking a little closer. So it's really just about the team's effort on a day-to-day basis and going out there and playing a nice, solid game.
And it does, and it's going to do something for the Giants, for potential free agents out there, right? They're going to look at the Giants and see how is this team playing? Does it look like they're a cohesive team? Do they look like they're playing for each other? Do they look like they're trying to accomplish a goal of going out there and trying to get to the World Series? You got it led by Buster Posey, who I would think a player who's interested in the Giants would probably have some interest. Hey, the guy's done it before. He kind of speaks my lingo, so to speak. You got Bob Melvin, and look, I know that's going to be a hot potato, but Bob Melvin is a manager that kind of lets his guys do their thing, so to speak, right? He's got the experience, and maybe that will do something for a player. I don't know. But and you got a history.
The team is playing good. It works because he's a player's manager. He lets them do their thing, and if they're winning and playing great baseball, then he's a perfect manager. It's just when they're playing poorly and it's the same. I don't know what's going on. Every night it's it's the same thing over and over again. That's when it starts to look bad in that kind of nonchalant body language or whatever.
Correct, and that's kind of what it is. It's more about the nonverbals, so to speak, than it is about substance. It really is. And don't get me wrong. Look, has he made mistakes? Sure, he's made mistakes. But what manager and what coaches haven't had no one's perfect through 162 games. They just aren't. They're going to have issues with that. Senior, what's up? He goes, teams get hot at the end of the year all the time. This could happen. There's no doubt about it, man. There is no doubt about it. Baseball is a funny thing. It's really hard you can't sit there and say, it's over. You can't until there's no game day. What is it? Marty Lurie says, until there's, 5 games to go and you're 6 out, right? I think that's the term he uses. So, hey, let's see what happens. Look, it's going to take a lot of winning from the San Francisco Giants. It is. and it's going to be hard. But I just want to see them finish with a good month and just see what happens. See what some of these guys got. Glenn and Marty were both talking about it. Let's see what this Peguero has out of the bullpen. Let's see more Matos. Let's see some more of Gilbert. I don't want to see more Seymour. The guy, I don't know. The guy's got stuff, but man, he gives up that home run ball like it's no get out, and that's just not gonna freaking play, man. But it's nice to see some of these guys just come out there. Let's see what the hell they have, and maybe answer some questions for next year and in the off season about what the direction that the Giants may go.
Yeah, man. A lot of questions, these young guys are getting some run. We're seeing Gilbert, we're seeing Matos, we're seeing a little cost today, and we're seeing, we're getting a look at these guys, at kind of an extended look, which is good. And then these bullpen, this is really an audition. The bullpen, they traded the two arms, and they're having these other guys are having to step up and play key roles in that bullpen when they've never really done it before. So Peguero and Lucchesi and a lot of the pitchers that are getting a shot now, this is information they're going to use going into next season and when they get to spring, and who's going to make up that bullpen next year, because guys are going to have to step up, and a lot of them have so far. So it's good to see.
Absolutely. Gus, what's up, Gus? Yogi Berra said it ain't over until it's over. That's a fact. What's up, Gus? How you doing, man? Hopefully you're staying cool, because it's hot. I know it's hot where you're at, Dallas. Today was a hot day, and it's going to be a hot again tomorrow. So it's for those of you who are in the Valley, even in the Bay Area. I know my daughter lives in Santa Cruz. They said it got up to 90 today, and that's pretty warm for Santa Cruz. So, guys, make sure you stay hydrated. Don't go out there and get dehydrated. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water, because it is warm. Good to hear, Gus. Awesome. But I tell you, man, the Giants, the way they just been playing baseball. I mean, look, you got this series. We talked a little bit about it yesterday. You had a stinker, but you, like you said, ran into a buzzsaw, because Trevor Rogers has been damn good. He doesn't have this, like, the high velocity, but boy, that guy can spot a ball like no other, can he? And then you had our pitching, which is, what do you think about this? Marty made an interesting point talking about he wished that Buster Posey went out there and got Walker Buehler. You think they should have went out there and got him?
I think they should have.
Okay.
I mean, they traded it, they sold at the deadline, which means they're not really going for it. But then now this team is starting to show a little more enthusiasm and playing better baseball, and they're not really that far out of it. If they had continued that slide and playing bad ball, but now they're on kind of a winning streak. I mean, I don't feel confident with Kai Tang in Colorado tomorrow.
Oh, no, I don't.
I mean, if the Giants can score another 10, 12 runs, we got a shot. But,
right.
If it's regular Giants baseball where they have a little trouble scoring runs, then it's not looking too promising. So
I tell you what, to your point, the Giants, what I'm liking what the Giants are doing is they're going to go into Colorado hot. They're not going to go there to try to get right. I don't like when the Giants have to go to a place to get right, because sometimes that doesn't work. The Giants are going into Colorado where they're swinging the bats, and that bodes well for scoring a lot of runs. You're going to need to tomorrow, because, like you said, with Kai Tang going, it's going to be tough. As long as the Giants could go out there and take care of business, you put up 10 runs in Colorado, you might have a chance.
Yeah, it's crazy that we're even saying that, because the Giants have had trouble putting up 4 runs for most of this season, and then now we're like, well, how about 10 runs? Because they've been doing it lately.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we got a super chat. DL, what's up, DL? Maeda donates $5. Says I was really pessimistic about the Giants making the wild card. However, what they're showing is some hard fight. Agreed. They may do this. You never know, man. You never know. DL, I'm telling you, that's kind of where I've been. Let's just see how it plays out. That's the beauty of baseball. Look, tomorrow is going to be September 1st. We are now transitioning from the marathon, and now we're getting into the sprint. This is where you got to go pull out the stops. You look, the players are going to be tired. They're going to be sore. But if you want to make some noise, they're going to have to go out there and take care of business, man. And let's see what happens, right? As a fan, that's all we can ask. Hey, we're watching some really good baseball, and let's see what happens.
Tomorrow is a big game because it's an early game. They're having to fly in, get there tonight late, and get up tomorrow and play a baseball game. And that's never easy to do for a team. Mm-hmm. And then you've got a pitcher with a 9 earned run average that you're not real confident in. So that's going to be a tough one. But then you got Webb and Ray the next 2 games, and you feel pretty good about your chances in that one. So you don't want to look ahead too much. You got to go out and figure out a way to get that win tomorrow. And if you do 100%. That, then this series is looking really good.
Yes, 100%. Absolutely. Producer Ryan, as he says, make sure you guys hit that like. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to both Giant Sports Talk Live and NorCal Sports Network. Again, it's myself and Dallas taking it here for you guys here on the hot corner. Next Sunday, we should have everyone back. Lou is on the way back from Reno. Glenn is having fun in the Bay Area. And Dan, I think, is on his way back from the Philippines. So we should all be back on Sunday. Should be good times. But we got it here. We're good to go here. Talking some Giants baseball. Again, the Giants had a fantastic series against the Baltimore Orioles. Another thing we didn't get a chance to talk about, and it happened during the week, the Giants swept the Cubs. Dallas, I'm going to tell you, I did not see that one coming. How about that? How about that?
Something else.
And, I tell you, we went to the Tuesday game, and we were facing Matt Boyd. And I'm like, oh, man, he's been good. He's a lefty. I don't know. I don't know how this is going to go. And we got Verlander going on the mound. Come to find out, it was a fantastic game. And the funny thing is, what was interesting in that game, Dallas, and on that specifically to Tuesday, they threw Matt Boyd, but Counsell constantly went to lefties out of the pin.
Right.
He knew the Giants couldn't hit lefty, but the Giants took care of business.
Right.
They took care of business. You had Flores go deep. You had Chapman go deep. Man, it was awesome.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
They had Imanaga in that third game.
Yep.
Another lefty, I believe, right?
Yep.
So they've been able to beat the last 3 lefties they faced now. I can't remember for sure, but at least 2. I think maybe 3. So maybe they're getting the monkey off their back there on the left-handed pitching thing. Mm-hmm. And, that's going to help them because they've been snake bit by that the whole season.
Yes, exactly. And another thing that I don't know if their approach is any different. I don't know. It's weird because the up and down the lineup, what it was here. Hold on. Do I have it? Yeah, I have it here. Almost everybody had a hit. Adames didn't have a hit and Bailey didn't have a hit. Everybody else had a hit. Ramos with 3, Devers with 3, Adames none. Smith had a hit with an RBI and 2 runs scored because he drew a walk. Chapman had a hit. Schmidt, who was a pinch runner and then stayed in the game, got a hit. Matos with 2 hits. Koss with 2 hits. Gilbert with 3 hits. And they only struck out 6 times, and they walked 7. Again, they're kind of going back to how they were playing in the beginning of the season. Have you noticed in the last few games, they haven't been striking out a whole lot? Not a whole lot. There's games where they're taking care of business as far as, trying to give you competitive at-bats, make contact. Because when you make contact, you'll never know what's going to happen. And the Giants were doing that all throughout this entire homestand.
Yeah. And I think I just get the impression that it's a lot of it is a confidence thing. When you're slumping and no one can get a hit and you're just constantly striking out in situations where you need to get a hit and the pressure's on you. And when the hits start falling, you start playing more looser and then you're walking up there. Oh, it's my turn now. I get to get a hit this time. And it's a whole different looking team. The confidence is so much different. So, they're going into the box not thinking, oh, I'm going to strike out this time, or please, I don't want to strike out, or, let me do something. Instead of that mentality, they're going in and being like, okay, now I'm going to get a hit. They're looking to get a hit. They're looking to be the next guy to tack on. They're stringing hits together. We don't see that normally. Normally,
right,
a couple of solo home runs and they score a couple runs. Now the line is moving. Bases are guys are rounding the bases and they're putting the ball in play, and it's forcing the other team to make mistakes. You know, we saw the Orioles yesterday play a terrible game defensively. Today they had
three errors.
3 errors. Maybe today's the bad game. Did they have errors yesterday too?
No, I think yesterday they played a pretty clean game.
Okay, it must have been today.
It was today. It was bad. They were throwing the ball over the place. Poor Daniel Johnson, former Giant, known as Jet, right? He was out there in left field and slipped. That's what allowed Gilbert to get his triple. But but it was a hard hit ball, and he was going to have to really get on his horse to try to get to that. Would he have caught it? I don't know. Maybe not. But hey, that's the thing. That baseball, you got to catch the ball, you got to throw the ball, you got to hit the ball, and if you could take advantage of those situations, that's what you got to do. Unfortunately, the Giants haven't in the past really haven't taken advantage of those. But I see people talking about Birdsong, and I looked. He pitched today, wasn't pretty. 4 innings. 4 hits, 3 earned, 4 walks, which is a problem with Birdsong, and 3 strikeouts.
Yeah, but the beginning of this year, the walks were not a problem. He was every start, he wouldn't walk a single person.
I know.
He started off so hot this year when he was coming out of the bullpen, and then when he first made his way into the rotation, and the poor guy, he's lost his command, and he's not able to put together those outings that he was doing earlier. So it's going to require some work. Hopefully he can figure some things out and make some progress in the spring, and maybe, put together a stretch where he can make himself a part of this rotation again. But I don't know that the Giants can depend on that. Going into this year, they kind of had a spot for Birdsong penciled in. And I don't think going next year that you have that. So they're going to need to add to this rotation in the offseason. No doubt about it.
Oh, it's funny how you talk about that, Dallas, because we were talking about that, right? We were talking about the beginning of the season. The Giants are going to have all these young pitchers, and they're going to be locked and loaded, right? Ready to go. Roop looked great, right? Injury. Yep. Birdsong. I was high on Birdsong. This guy's going to be something. Fell by the wayside. Wisenhunt hasn't exactly been spectacular, right? He's had his moments. A lot of question
marks there.
But a lot of question mark. And now he's on the IL with a cranky back, right? So you got all these young pitchers who we were talking about. Harrison, who was traded away for Devers. Look, but with the 3 that stuck with the team, they're nowhere to be found right now. And that's the thing. You got to be careful when you rely on the youth a little bit too much, because these things can happen. When there's question marks, you just don't. We could be talking about a totally different situation if they were out there dealing, right? But they're not. And that is the risk that you take when you have to rely on a young starting core.
Yeah. And they're going to have to find ways to add to the potential that they have of, maybe sign some unproven guys just so that they can be farm hands or maybe work their way up to the rotation. But they do need some experienced ones also, because they used to have all these guys, Wynn and Beck and Black. And, there's this list of guys that now you're feeling a lot more like they're not really you had the 3 Carsons,
Yeah.
One's gone.
One of them went to the Orioles, right?
One's gone, one's hurt, and one's not pitching very well. So
yeah,
you don't have those guys.
And look, we're rooting for these guys. It's not like we're sitting here, we're not shitting on them by any stretch of the imagination. We're just
and they can turn it around, they guys go up and down just like everybody. Sometimes something clicks and they figure it out. Sometimes you never know what's going to happen in this game, but you do need to have some potential guys coming up that you have some amount of confidence in.
He's speaking my language. I've been talking about Ranger Suarez. Let's get into this. I brought this up to both Glenn and Marty, because I saw it on Twitter. Bona Hill was talking about, hey, what do you think of having or signing Justin Verlander to a 1-year deal as your number 5, right? Again, listen to what I'm saying. Not signing him as a number 3, but signing him as a number 5.
Yeah.
Would
this
you
is where
guys
the chat roasts you badly?
Yep. Yeah, I know.
But
would you be okay signing Verlander as a number 5 starting pitcher for the San Francisco Giants next year? Because they're going to need to.
That because going into this year, the problem is that they signed Verlander, and they thought for some reason that was perceived as a number 3 guy. You got Webb, you've got Ray, and you've got Verlander, and then you got young guys to fill in. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess we had Hicks too, but
yeah, Hicks.
I forgot about him. So as a number 3, that's not gonna work out because he's old and you don't know what you're gonna get week to week, and it's just you can't just write that down in the book and say this guy's got. But what he can do is he can eat innings. He can come in and give you 160 innings in a season, no problem. I don't know what his inning count is at right now, but he's definitely done the job of, eating up some innings. So as a number 5 guy, I'm fine with Verlander. But you could probably find someone else that can fill that same role. The number 5 guy is not a really high bar to have to fill. But if you also want to have that experience there, the name, people don't mind coming out to the ballpark to see Verlander because he's a future Hall of Famer. So there's a lot of reasons for having Verlander on the squad. But that can't be your only addition. You need somebody else that's experienced to fill in that number 3 hole. And then if you want to have Wisenhunt and Roop fill the number 4 hole and possibly Birdsong if he can come back up. But you're going to need depth. You need 8 starters at a minimum, because people get hurt throughout the year. You have to fill in. You're going to have to, people are going to pitch badly and have to be taken out of the rotation and go back to AAA for a while. So, I'm fine with signing Verlander if that's not your only signing. If he's your only signing, you're in bad shape.
100%. Exactly. Johnny Chesery says, Eric, you need to fix the rotation 3 through 5. Well, you know what? You got to go get a number 3, a number 2 or number 3, whatever number you want to get. Hell, you want to get Gold Framber? I'm okay with that. I'm not going to say no, but Ranger Suarez, I think, is good, right? His numbers are pretty damn good. I wouldn't mind going to get Suarez. If you got Webb, Ray, Suarez as your 1, 2, 3, if you got Roop as your number 4, and as you said, you have depth behind that number 4 and number 5, as far as Wisenhunt and Birdsong, and then you have Verlander as your number 5, I'm okay with that. And someone is saying, would you pay $15 million? I don't think it's going to cost $15 million to keep Verlander, to be honest with you. That's what they paid him this year. But I guarantee you probably could get him for even cheaper because no one else is going to pay more, or no one else is going to, would even garner 10? I don't know.
10, that's probably 11 just so you're not insulting, but the Giants got plenty of money. That's not an issue.
They do, and they need to go get a starting pitcher. This is going to be a conversation in the offseason, Dallas. I got a feeling, and I keep saying it's going to be intriguing because let's see what Buster Posey does. Is he going to primarily lean on free agents? Is he going to trade? Is he going to rely on the young guys? I think he does a little bit of both, man. I think he goes out there and get some players with free agency, and I think he goes and he makes some trades. And who is that trade going to involve? I don't know, man. I don't know. Don't come after me. I'm just throwing out ideas here. But I think you know where I'm kind of going with that because, this
team obviously has areas of need.
Yes.
Rotation, probably a bullpen arm or 2, and then a catcher that has some offense that can partner up with Bailey and get and play a lot more games and get a little bit more offensive production out of that spot. And then you've got certainly a spot in the outfield that can be filled. We don't Matos is looking good, but you need him to come up and grab that job, and he hasn't done that yet. But maybe this is
Fair.
him doing it, and we're going to see a lot more of these last 25 games or whatever it is. So, yeah, but there's areas of need, and he's going to have to figure out, through trade or signing free agents or, by hook or by crook, makes this team better incrementally, because they're not going to sign any huge $500 million guy.
I don't see that.
They're going to need to address areas of need and incrementally make the team better. But if the pitching rotation is drastically improved, then it really doesn't matter. Then probably the rest of the team is okay to get by.
Mm-hmm.
This team was slumping badly offensively, and the pitching got them through the season, in pretty good shape. And then the pitching started falling apart, and the offense was slumping at the same time, and that's when they lost all those games and had a terrible stretch. And now the hitting is happening, but the pitching is halfway questionable. Your pitching is, you only got 2.5 out of 5 pitchers, and the offense is doing well. So if you can beef up that rotation, then you're going to have a shot no matter what you're doing offensively. So that's, if it's me, I'm concentrating on making sure that we have a nice, deep, solid rotation that we're confident in.
100%, because that's what was getting them through, right? In the first few months of the season, the pitching was just absolutely amazing. And look, you still got Webb and Ray who are out there taking care of business, man. I never have a concern when I see them having the ball and they're starting. I feel pretty damn good.
Sure.
Right.
But you're one injury away from being in total pitcher hell,
Yeah, that's a fact. And just so you guys, if you guys don't know, I brought up this stat on Marty's show earlier. Paul Skeens and Logan Webb are tied for the amount of strikeouts each pitcher has. Who would have thought that? And if I told you in the offseason on August 31st, Paul Skeens and Logan Webb were going to be tied for the amount of strikeouts, you guys would think I'm nuts. But that's a fact. They both are 187 strikeouts. Now, Paul Skeens has got a lower ERA by almost a full run. So, yes, he's limited his runs. But isn't that something? Both of them, 187 strikeouts. Look at this. Webb is probably going to go 200 innings and have over 200 strikeouts. That's incredible, dude. That is absolutely incredible. And look, he's going to get Cy Young. He's going to get Cy Young considerations. Big time. Look, I mean, Paul Skeens may wind up taking it, but my God, look at what he's doing. Now, if they take in consideration wins, which some voters do, well, guess what? Webb's probably going to have more than Skeens.
Right. And it comes down, just like the Giants, it comes down to these last 25 games. For Logan Webb, if he comes out and pitches a shutout and, really has a good month of September, he has a chance at it.
100%. 100%. Oh my gosh, dude. I mean, that's just amazing. That's great. Logan Webb is, come on. Logan Webb is an ace. Let's stop. I don't want to stop hearing, oh, he's just an ace on our team and he's not whatever. The guy he's having a hell of a year. And last year he had a good year. He's a workhorse and the guy is getting better. So yes, Logan Webb is an ace.
He doesn't throw 97, 98. He
don't have to.
Right. But it's not as, for some reason, that radar gun matters to people when they're trying to assess pitchers, and it really shouldn't. And it's because he doesn't stress out his arm, that he's able to give you 200 innings every year, and you're not really that worried about him getting injured, because he's out there and he's throwing a relaxed 200 innings instead of max effort 200 innings. That's a big difference. Plus,
exactly.
He's under team control for a long time. We got a nice contract for him.
Yep, 3 more years, man. You got 3 more years of this guy.
I'm never on board with the trade Webb talk because
no, me neither. I just
you're not
that's
do
me.
Much
I don't
than him without opening up the Brinks truck.
Correct, 100%. Uncle Rico chiming in says accuracy greater than velo. Exactly. Talk to Greg Maddux. Right? There's not right. Come on, you don't have to freaking blow people away as long as you're keeping the batter off balance. And you're out there and you're locating, hey, guess what? You're going to get just as much done.
He's showing improvement. I mean, his strikeout total last year was much less. I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but he is striking out a lot more people this year. Before, he would just rely on the ground balls. But now he can rely on the ground balls, get the double play, or he can strike you out. So he's got more control of his weapons, and he's just maturing and, becoming a smarter pitcher. And as guys do when they get older, they become craftier and they can, manage their pitch count so that they can pitch to contact a little bit more and make those fine adjustments. And, or if you're in a situation where you want to get a strikeout, you can do that too. So he's really evolving, and he was great before, but he's becoming something even better now.
And how about this? And I remember he said this on a in-game interview. This is a couple of weeks ago. He talked about his four-seamer because they asked, I can't remember, it was Kruk or Kaib asked him about introducing the four-seamer. And he said he's always had a four-seamer. In 2021, I think, Logan, correct me if I'm wrong. I think he said he was throwing a four-seamer in 2021 and then he kind of went away from it. But this year he brought it back. And look what it's doing. Because it's at a different plane, right? Everyone's used to seeing this ball freaking just dip and dart and go all over the place, low in the zone. But then you start changing your eye level where you're throwing stuff above the zone. They think it's going to be something they can hit, and lo and behold, it's past them. And he's had some success with that four-seamer up in the zone. It's freaking awesome, man. Yeah, he's a pitcher. Like he's not a thrower. He's a pitcher. And I love that. I love seeing a guy working his craft, right?
Right.
Guy out there working his craft. It's nothing better to see, man. I love that stuff.
Yeah. And I've always liked guys that have that when they have the two seam and the four seam and they have different movements and you don't know, it's a fastball. You don't know what's coming. So, and then if you can locate those two different ones for guys on different sides of the plate, then you become really difficult to have a good at bat against. So, and that's why he's having such success.
Yeah. And it's great. And I love seeing him. He is a giant through and through. I don't see him going anywhere, man. I don't. Once his contract is up, of course, who knows? With free agency, you just never know. But my gosh, man, that guy, he is an ace. And I just want to see him continue doing his thing. It would be nice to see the Giants get into another playoff. And I want to see him going out there. Yeah. He had his moment in 2021 and he did well, right? And I want to see him get back there, man, because damn, dude, the way that this pitching can be, and especially, as you said, if they could go out there and add a significant arm along with a 4 and a 5. I mean, let's talk about it. Buster Posey, what he's been saying this whole time, pitching and defense. If you guys just got to listen to him. Listen, he's going to tell you what he's going to do to a certain extent. He's talked about contact, right? What did he do? He drafted a bunch of contact, low strikeout guys. He traded for high contact, low strikeout guys. He went out there and got a pretty damn good pitcher from the Mets in Blade Tidwell. What am I saying, dude? I totally forgot. Listen to me. I totally forgot. Blade Tidwell may be that 4 and 5 guy. Maybe you don't need Verlander.
Maybe.
Right? Because that Blade Tidwell, he's got that build, right? As a starting pitcher. But can he stay healthy? That's going to be, when you start talking about cranky shoulders, that I get more worried about shoulders than elbows because elbows can be repaired. Takes time, but usually you could come back from that. Shoulders, on the other hand, could be a little bit weird, but it sounds like maybe it was just a little bit of fatigue. Don't know, but something you keep an eye on. I totally forgot about Blade Tidwell. Look at me, man. We're sitting here talking about rotation, and we can't forget one of the most important pieces that Buster Posey did in the offseason, or I'm sorry, during the trade deadline.
Right. But we haven't really seen him, he hasn't
Correct.
been around.
Right. We don't know what to expect. And again, it is a young guy and it is a question mark. So we'll have to see how that pans out. And look, there is nothing wrong going into spring training with competition. If you guys are all on the same team, right? Don't get me wrong. You're all on the same team, but I'm going to be better than you, right? We're all driving for the same goal, but I'm going to show you that I deserve to be on the roster and not you. It's healthy competitiveness that you want to get out there. And, sometimes it brings out the best. And maybe I've brought this up, Dallas, maybe with Gilbert coming on the team, maybe that lit a fire under Matos. He basically, I shouldn't say basically, Gilbert leapfrogged both McRae and Matos to start getting playing time. So maybe that lit a little fire under him. Hey, man, I am better than this. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to show you. And nothing wrong with that.
I mean, he's been pretty good in AAA, Matos. And he came up, and people say that he was given a shot, and that he had however many at-bats, but he never really got a fair shot to play every day. Because Yaz was here, he was only playing against lefties, which is only 25% of the time, if that. So he wasn't getting a shot to play every day. And I think you need to be able to play every day to get in rhythm and start to put together a consistency at the plate. So I am of the belief that Matos never really got a fair crack on the big league team. When they traded Yaz, I thought this is his chance to get to come up and take the reins. And then they brought up McRae and Fitzgerald and the other kid. What's his name?
Gilbert.
They brought up those three guys and not Matos. And I thought, oh man, this is he's not getting a chance. Maybe they've just given up on him. And turns out now, once McRae was striking out too much and they didn't have a right-handed person to bring up, then he finally got to come back up again. And now he's starting to get to play every day, and he's producing. So I really hope that he gets to play every game the next 25 and get a really good long look on the big league team and see if he can maintain this type of performance so that he can come in next year into spring training, compete for a spot in the outfield. And if they do trade for somebody and there's no real spot for him, at least he could be that fourth outfielder that can come up and be on the team, on the big league team, and fill in, play several days a week, and they can keep guys rested and, utilize the DH and move guys around, and he can still play a big part on the team. And maybe he grabs the bull by the horns and grabs that right field spot. Who knows? And
that's what I'm hoping for. I've been saying that forever, man. He needs to grab the bull by the horns. And right now he's doing it. Look, this might solve a problem for the Giants next year. Come on, Buster Posey. That's one less position that you have to go and fill in the offseason, right? If you could do it in-house, come on, man. And you know what? And maybe it's more of a Matos and Gilbert type of, I don't want to say platoon because that's, I don't like it either. But I kind of like seeing them both in the lineup right now. Grant, and you said it. Players are going to have their ups and downs. But especially I just like
tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw all those guys in the outfield tomorrow and that Ramos DHs. Because that's a big, tough outfield to play in Coors Field. It is. And having those three guys, you feel pretty confident about defensively. So I think they could handle it. Of those three, Matos is kind of the weak link defensively, but I think he's fine, especially if he is able to get some consistency. I don't really worry about his defense that much. So maybe we'll see that. Maybe that's a sign of things to come. But yeah, I think I want to see more of him because hopefully he can make the team. And he's only 23 because he started so
Right.
young. They're having to make this make or break decision on him at a really young age, but it's really about right now, 23, 24, when guys kind of break in and make their mark. And he's having to do that. He was only 22 last year. That's pretty young to be trying to make your way into the
That's
big
a fact.
league. So he's kind of on schedule, or he's still a young guy. So I'd like to see. It'd be great if he could make his move right now.
And look at this. Ever since he's been up with the team's just winning, man. They're just winning. And look, I said, is it always his play? No, but he's in the thick of things a lot of the times. But it's just, it's one of those things in baseball, right? The guy comes up and all of a sudden the team just starts playing better. And it's just for whatever reason. And maybe it's a coincidence. Maybe it isn't. But I love watching him go out there. I've said this. I'm glad to be wrong. I've written them off. I was like, look, they obviously the organization saw enough and they were done and they're moving on. Well, lo and behold, they gave him this other opportunity and he went out there and he proved the detractors wrong. And good on him, man. Good on him. Because this only bodes well for the Giants. I'd rather be wrong and the Giants win than be right and the Giants not succeed, right? Because it's not about me and my opinions.
You're just going based on what he's doing,
right?
And what you're seeing. So
right.
And if he's producing now, then that's really good for the Giants.
It is, and that Gilbert kid, dude, he's starting to get comfortable. He is, man. He's a little fiery guy, and his defense is pretty good. I agree with you. I would love to see Matos, Lee, and Gilbert in the outfield tomorrow. Have Ramos come off or be the DH. Maybe not the whole series, but definitely for tomorrow. I mean, if you can do the whole series, because look, outfield in Colorado is not easy to play. That ball is going to go, man. It's going to go. And if you have problems, it could turn into a crooked number really quick.
Yeah. And I did see that Devers kind of grab his leg,
I saw that on his last hit. He grabbed the back of his leg. I saw that.
So I hope that's just nothing to worry about. I haven't seen anything about it. So
I haven't seen anything either.
But
I saw the same thing. As soon as I saw that, I started refreshing Twitter. Refreshing Twitter.
Same thing. But I'm also thinking, okay, maybe that means Devers DHs tomorrow, which means Ramos is going to be in the outfield. And it throws a monkey wrench in my little plan for having a defensive outfield there tomorrow. But we'll see what happens. Maybe Devers is fine and he's at first base and Ramos DHs and we can see what we got.
I tell you what, though, if I don't want to see him trying to lay out a single in Colorado, because that altitude can play havoc on muscles. It seems like when you go out there and you overextend, man, because you got less oxygen and all this stuff, it could play some havoc with you. But you know what? The way that they're swinging the bats, I would not be surprised if you see the ball just flying out of the yard.
It's a lot easier not to tax yourself and just put it over the fence.
Goodbye.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Exactly. Goodbye. That's what I'm talking about. 100%. Fernando says Devers is probably playing at 75%. He might be. And look what he's doing. The guy is such a strong guy. Oh, my God, dude. I mean, it's just unbelievable. The game we went to, he actually hit a dying duck into left field. The shortstop couldn't quite get it there, but he didn't hit the ball hard that night. But afterward, oh my gosh, the guy's just hitting the ball over. You think Adames hits 30 home runs? You think he gets to 30?
I was just going to bring that up. I think he does it. I think he hits 2 home runs in Colorado.
Okay,
which leaves him with 3 more to go the rest of the way. I think he can get 30 right on the dot. I think that's what happens.
I think he can get 30, man. And you know what? That's awesome. Look, I was criticizing him in the beginning of the season when he was just striking out all over the place. And I'm like, what is this? 181 is what you paid for his average. Remember that? That's where he almost got down to what they were paying him. Right.
Yep.
And look, I wasn't doing it to shit on, but it's frustrating as a fan where you're like, man, I want this guy to do something, right? That's what we all want. And we all have our own ways in dealing with that. But look what he has done over these last almost 3 months. Unbelievable, dude. I tell you, this guy's going to be something, I think. Look, is he going to have a lot of strikeout? Yeah, he does. Same thing with Chapman. But you know what? They're going to go out there and they're going to put up some damn decent numbers. Offensively, that is.
And then, he came in and he has been the heartbeat of that dugout the whole year. He's down there cheering people on. And, when they come, he's the first guy to greet everybody when they come back to the dugout. And, he has really put his stamp on that, as the face of the team and the leader of that clubhouse. And it sucked because he wasn't backing it up with his own performance, but he was always there, always positive, always trying to cheer the team on. But if he can do that and produce offensively and play a great shortstop, which he has been anybody, what I expected, it's going to be a little dicey sometimes, and he's held it down pretty serviceably. So maybe it's a matter of getting comfortable. You're in new ballpark, new team, settling in.
100%.
It took him a little while, maybe longer than anybody hoped that, thought that it would take for him to settle in, but now he's getting comfortable. And, with the cold and with the big long fences and with, everything that you have to deal with coming to this team. But if he can get comfortable there and going into next season, probably not going to take him as long to get it going. He's always a little bit slow, always a second half player. But if he could just get it going a month earlier, then that bodes well for the Giants also.
Yes. And here's the thing too. And you're touching on something that I've been saying for a long time. I was saying it primarily for Devers because there was so much heat that Devers was catching from the San Francisco fan base. And I was like, what is going on here? I saw it on Twitter. I seen it in our chat. And it's like, man, where are you guys coming from with this? I mean, this is a hell of a move here. I mean, come on. We got rid of Hicks and his contract. Let's not forget that. You traded away Harrison and Tibbs. I mean, okay. But you got a perennial freaking top 10, 15 hitter in the league, man. And he's gonna do something. Now, that being said, to your point, it takes a while to settle in. Look, did he expect it to get traded in June of this year after last year getting paid his big contract? There's no way he saw that coming. Next thing you know, you're being shipped off across the country in a new league. I mean, you just don't automatically plop in there and just say, oh, all right, go produce. It just doesn't work that way. You got to take in the human element. People, there's a lot of people out there to talk about statistics. Analytics takes the human element out of it. Well, we gotta say the same for when guys are being traded. Or in what you're saying about Adames, this is the first time he's played in San Francisco. There's gonna be an adaptive period. Some take longer than others, but that's a fact. You just don't know how someone is going to play in a new environment. And once they start getting comfortable, well, then maybe you start seeing them produce a little bit more. It may not always be the fact, but there should be always something that you got to take in consideration, especially when new guys are coming over.
Yeah. And there's a mental side to it. You signed the biggest contract in San Francisco Giants history. You're thinking, okay, I'm going to come in and I'm going to be the man and I'm going to carry this team. And that's a tough pressure to put on yourself going into that situation. And it's probably a little humbling, but you have to be consistent. You got to keep putting your work in and know that you're here because you've been able to do this long term and you have a track record and you have consistency, and that consistency will come back around. So
yes,
it's good that he's got it going again. And you just want to see more prolonged stretches of this going into next year.
100%. Exactly. All right. I got to play this. This was hilarious, man. Oh my God. Wait, did I? Hold on. Gosh, dang it. Hold on. Let me make sure I did this right. Because I can't remember if I basically bookmark if I gave it a like or not, so I know where to come back to it. It is so damn funny. You guys know who Frank Fleming is, right? There we go. You know who Frank Fleming is? I think they call him Frank the Tank.
I don't know who that is.
Hold on, let's see. This is great. He's a Mets fan, a big Mets fan. Oh. And yeah, he kind of lost it just a little bit. Oh my God. Here we go. Frank Fleming. Frank the Tank. Listen what he had to say. Again, he's a Mets fan.
It's over. It's fucking over. Here we go. The 0-10 road trip. 2 straight losses. We're going to be hearing that song in Buster Olney. And Anthony Record going to be singing 12 to us. 12, 12, 12. The 12-game losing streak is here. The Mets will not win 5 games in September. They will not win 5. It's fucking over. All you have to do is take a lead, and the game is over. They quit. And Sanger says can't wait to lose. And Mullins is going to sit Mullins out there again. Every ball's going to fall in front of him. No hits ever. Fucking goddamn motherfucking. And the Pink Pony Club, they had a blame thing. They had a shut him around. Eric Show, and now it's over. It's over. Nobody's going to pitch well. They're going to lose every game in a blowout. Blowout every day. Blown out every day.
Wow. No, that's not Glenn. Glenn's not on the hot corner tonight. I know. He can get worked up like that too sometimes, but
oh my God, that was an epic breakdown on a Mets fan, Frank the Tank. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh yeah, that's great. That's on Twitter? I see what you're talking about. Let's bring that up before we get out of here. Ooh, that was Susan Slusser that reported that, right?
Yeah, Chronicle.
You guys, let me bring this up. Get it all ready before I start talking about it here. Whoa, I don't know if it's behind a paywall. Let me see.
It might be. Other people picked it up around the Foghorn and stuff.
Is it on Around the Foghorn?
Yeah.
Let me look. Let me do that. Let me go to Around the Foghorn then. Yeah, because it's behind a paywall when it's with the Chronicle, man.
Right.
Come on.
But what happened? I mean, so we always in the chat, people are like, well, what about Tom Murphy? What about Tom Murphy?
Wow, there's
him. And now we're approaching the end of his 2-year, $8 million stint with the Giants. And, he hasn't been back and we get no updates on him. Maybe about towards the beginning of the season, maybe a quarter of the way in, Andrew Baggerly said that, the Giants have kind of written him off and he's not going to be a part of it anymore. And we never really got the full story there. But now,
damn, I'm not seeing it on the Around the Foghorn.
Murphy has come out and talked with Susan Slusser of the Chronicle and basically have accused the Giants medical staff of malpractice in handling his injuries. And what they said was an oblique was actually a back issue. And then they said that, they were doing injections in his discs and they were injecting the wrong disc. And so he chalks it up like maybe there was maybe a month of treatment that he got that wasn't productive to his healing, and that set back his recovery process. So, and then, he's saying his career might never be the same and kind of blaming the Giants for it.
Get out of here.
So, yeah,
Come
so
on.
we're going to see, but we probably haven't heard the end of it. There could be a, legal action happening and, definitely sour grapes there between the Giants and Tom Murphy.
And they're probably not happy either because, they spent $8 million on this guy, $4 million last year, $4 million this year. And he's played a total of what, a month and a half? A month and a half of baseball?
It was 13 games or something.
Exactly. So, look, you can only look. You're getting your treatment. Come on, you're getting your damn treatment done. And if it's not working, it's not working. come on, do you really think the Giants are going to go out there and say, we want to make this guy hurt? I mean, that just seems a little bit far-fetched. Like you said, maybe it's just some sour grapes, but yeah, maybe we haven't.
The Giants spent a lot of money on him.
They did.
It's in their best interest to have him back and playing and in the rotation, or not the rotation, but in spelling Bailey.
Correct.
And having a guy that can, with some pop in his bat and that could hit as that backup catcher. Think of what that could have changed, in this team the last 2 years. I mean,
great point. Because they got him primarily for his bat. His glove was okay to bat, but his bat was supposed to play. And
right,
why would the Giants sit there and it is just, come on, that seems a little bit weird. You're getting free damn money, man. You're getting free money for doing nothing. Look, does he want to play? I'm sure he does. And it's interesting. I wish I could read that damn article, but it's behind that damn paywall, so I can't see what it says. But
I brought it up on my phone, and they had the thing on top of it, and then I could read it in the background behind.
Oh,
it.
nice! Yeah, the ads right there, and it's the things you got to do to try to get around a paywall.
I know, it's crazy.
Yep. Oh, there you go on the fence. Yeah, 44 for Jordan Hicks, 11 for Ross Stripling, 11 for DeSclafani. Don't forget, Tommy La Stella also got, I think, like $12 million.
Yep.
Oh, shit. Look at Senior. Senior coming in with all caps. You must be enjoying your birthday, Senior. Today's his birthday, by the way. Senior softball games. Happy birthday to you, my friend. Again, I know I wished it for you yesterday, but I'm wishing again. The effing Giants, who most people wrote off, including me, are only, get this, 5 freaking games out with a whole month to go. If you aren't, you need to start believing. Oh, man. Look at that. You know what? Gosh, dang it. Now, you know what you're going to make me do? Let me go find it. Let me go find the damn thing. Where the hell is it? You got to give me you're speaking my language, Senior. Holy key. Look at this. Remember when I was getting laughed at when I was talking about the Detroit Tigers? Remember that? Remember the grief I got with that?
Yeah.
Hey, this may be something here. Hold on. Where the hell is this? Let me find it. Let me find the damn thing. Come on. Where the hell is it? I know I have it in here somewhere. I can't find it.
Happy birthday, Senior.
Yeah, there you go. Where is it at? That's not it. Come on. This is. Hey, there you go. Seriously, I know I have it in here somewhere. I just don't know where it's at. Damn. That's not. This is it right here. Here we go. Okay, is it loaded up? Oh my God, what's going on here? What is this? Hold on. He's got a shit ton of music in here, and now I got to go find it all over again. I'm going to act like that guy on freaking. There it is.
We'll do it live.
Come on. All right, here we go. Come on. Load up. All right, here we go. Senior, it's a little bit delayed. Sorry for the delay, but I had to find it. Let's go. go, man.
That one is whack.
There we go, man. That's what I'm talking about. Got to start believing. Look at that. Is that my camera? I think my camera's starting to act up. What the hell's going on here? Goodness gracious. I'm getting a little bit too crazy here. But yeah, man, come on. Come on. We got a month worth of baseball. Remember, I brought up the Detroit freaking Tigers last year. Granted, they did it over 2 months. So we kind of stepped it up a little bit. Why not? Why can't it happen? Why can't it happen? Let's see what happens. That's all we can do. Take care of your own business. Let the chips fall where they may. You never know.
Let's just win tomorrow. That's all I want.
Win tomorrow.
Just
there
tomorrow.
You go. And this is something that I put a tweet out there. This is about a month ago, Dallas. I said, win today, right? That's all you got to do. If you want to break it down to for a batter, win that at bat. You want to break it down even, win that pitch. Win that at bat. Win that game. Win the series. You know what I'm saying? You can break it down to as much as you want. You could get as molecular as you want with that. But just go out there and have that mindset. Don't worry about tomorrow. Just worry about today and what you have to do today to win. And maybe something cool will happen. All right. Well, I think I'm ready to get out of here, Dallas. What you think?
I think we covered it.
I think we covered it. Exactly. Hey, Dallas, thanks for covering for Dan and Lou. And then Glenn should be back here. All the guys should be back here next Sunday. So, yeah, should be fun. Let's see what happens again tomorrow. I believe it is Kai Wei Tang versus Dollander. I think we're going against Dollander, right? Something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
Dollander, yes.
Dollander. So he's a righty. Go take care of damn business. That's all I'm saying. Let's take care of business. All right, let's get out of here. Dallas, thanks again, man.
Yep.
Guys, enjoy the rest of your
Labor
Sunday night. And happy Labor Day. Drink plenty of water, guys. Stay hydrated. Woo!